You're watching Crusader Convos. We're engaging in crucial career conversations. I'm your host, Dr. Threets, Principal of CTEC. Greetings. Thank you for joining Crusader Convo, where we're engaging in crucial career conversations with CTEC Crusaders. I'm your host, Dr. Lori Threets, Principal of the Career and Technical Education Center, or CTEC. So we are about to head into spring break, and as we're doing so, I wanted to give some information to our Crusaders about a very important topic, which is vaping, that we're seeing too frequently. And joining me to discuss vaping is our very own counselor, Mrs. Priscilla Petetan, and our nurse Carol Sonier. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you all for joining me. But before we get started talking about vaping, tell us a little bit about yourselves and also something that people may find surprising.
As stated previously, I am the counselor here at CTEC, and I have been in the education profession for 24 years. Wow. And I feel that I've truly been blessed as an educator. I taught for 13 years and a counselor for 11 years. Okay. This will complete my 11th year as a counselor. And I thoroughly have enjoyed my experience. And I pray that I have blessed all of the students that I have encountered as their teacher and as counselor throughout this district. One of the things that people might not know, but for soothing and comfort for me, I love to eat ice cream, but I eat it with pretzels. Oh, okay. And so it's a delicious and soothing, divine taste. So a little bit of the sweetness and a little bit of the crunch. Okay. And so I do enjoy that. But also something that people might not know is that as a child growing up, I had a desire to be a teacher because of the profession and how we were taught during those times. And so at the end of the school year, I would bring home all of the consumables and I would encourage, and I mean strongly encourage, my brother and sister to be my students during the summer. And so against their will, I should say. But I would encourage them and they would listen because I was the oldest sibling. Okay. But that is something that others might not know. Again, I did not know, but God had already planned that journey for me.
Yes, you had a lot of preparation.
Yes, yes.
And Nurse Sonnier?
Yes, I'm Carol Sonier, and I've been with the district 8 years. In the nursing department, I am a nurse assistant. I graduated from Lamar in 1991 with a radiology degree. Okay. I have been actually in the medical field for 16 years. Since I was 16 years old.
Oh, wow.
And also, I have worked in various places. I've worked at the hospital, I've worked in doctor's office, I've worked at the federal prison, even in medical, worked there 10 years, enjoyed that, came directly from there to here. And I have been here, like I said, 8 years and absolutely love my job. And I wouldn't change anything. That's my calling.
Good. Yes. So I bet that's something surprising that you're really X-ray tech and worked at the prison.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you want to share that people might not know about you that we would find surprising?
Well, I like to talk a lot. And I have 2 wonderful grandbabies. A 4-year-old little granddaughter and a 3-year-old little grandson. I live in Mid-County, been there pretty much all my life, so yeah.
All right, well again, I really appreciate you all joining us to talk about this crucial conversation pertaining to vaping. So I'm going to start with you, Ms. Petetan. So as a counselor, I'm sure you've encountered students who've expressed the various reasons that they engage in vaping. So would you share that with us, and as well as maybe some strategies that we can share with everyone for them not to vape when they're going through something?
Yes, and as stated, I have. And some students basically are just experimenting, and so at times it could be their first time that they tried it. But overall, they seem to deem that vaping is less harmful to them than cigarettes. Right. And of course, we try to correct the erroneous thoughts in that process. Also, they see their peers vaping. And so to be considered a part of that group, they tend to vape as well. They also talk about stressors,
Okay.
you know, and vaping, utilizing vaping as a solution to handling stressors. But again, we tend to redirect that mode of thinking with strategies along the way regarding that. And then also they've talked about the flavors, you know, that vaping provide for them. And so they have reasons and stressors, challenges as to why they revert to vaping. But again, it is something that is very addictive for them. It is something that rewires their brains and in that developmental process. And so that's very harmful to them. And it also has very long-lasting effects for them. It can impede their level of concentration, their focus in school, and it can increase their impulses and have those where they're lacking the ability to control them at times.
Wow.
And so it does a lot of harm where they're thinking that it is solving this temporary solution.
Right.
And so we do try to talk to them in a very guidance manner and talk about those detrimental effects that can have on you long term.
Right.
And when you can handle or utilize a strategy, being strategies as I just stated. So we want them, as stated when I talk to them, we want them to design a plan, and we help them design a plan. Okay, how can we change this here? And as a part of the plan, we need to try to rethink that process as to why you're reverting to this and come up with other solutions and strategies that you can utilize to replace that negative behavior. And so as a part of that, we talk about them exercising, you know, workouts, walking, riding a bicycle, running, whatever you do to help exert that energy. But in lieu of that, substituting when you have the craving, because those craving tendencies will come.
Becomes addictive.
Yes, it becomes addictive. So you're craving at times. Chew a slice of gum. Eat hard candy. Drink a lot of water. Something to fill in that void until that behavior changes for you. But in addition to those things, I also talk to them about being mentally challenging as far as changing their mindset with that. So we have to rethink that part of that as that part of you wanting to revert to utilizing a vape, whereas you can utilize a support system instead. Being counselors as one to help them with that process, but family, those friends and peers who do not vape, avoiding distractors and or those students who are vaping, because if they're your friends and you're trying to stop vaping, that's not going to help you. And so you're going to have to isolate or seclude yourself from those students until you are strong enough and have done this long enough to change the behavior that you're currently exhibiting. And that craving, dealing with the craving, because that's going to be a process for them. You know, it's going to take time. And you definitely want to also look at, when you make your plan and set a date, you want to move forward with removing those items from you, because it's easy for us to revert to something if it's right there in my reach. So you need to get rid of all of the vapes that you have, all of the accessories you have. You need to clear all of those things. That's right.
Remove it.
Remove all of that. And then as a part of that, while you're going through the process, you want to have, to help you mentally continue that journey, you might want to set up some posters, you know, or sticky notes on your mirror or something that's saying,
affirmations,
I can do, that's right, positive affirmations. I can do this here. I do not need vaping to be in control of my life. I need to control my life in this respect. And so those are some strategies that I try to impart in the students so that they can utilize them and change the behavior at the same time. And don't give up. The first time you try, you may not be successful, but those who give up are not successful in life. And so they must continue to try to curtail and go through that process until they are no longer vaping because of those detrimental effects that they can have.
That's great. That's some great strategies. So hopefully y'all are taking notes so that you'll be able to do that if you're suffering with that addiction. And so just on top of that, you know, your mental health and everything and finding those strategies. Nurse Sonier, will you talk to us about the health effects, the things that are happening to their bodies when they're consuming these vapes?
Yes, and I don't think that they realize that vaping just doesn't affect your lungs. It also affects your heart.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and the chemicals that they use. The thing that a lot of people don't realize is that vaping pens come in many forms. It might look like a jump drive. So a lot of parents don't even realize that that's what they have in their possession. Vaping, of course, once you start vaping, it turns into a mist. Okay, so you're inhaling that mist into your lungs. It can cause you to have what's called popcorn lungs. And popcorn lungs, if you x-ray someone, it literally looks like popcorn in their lung. This is an irreversible thing that happens, and you can be treated for it, but it cannot be reversed. Also, what they don't realize is that it also can cause pneumonia. It can cause what's called a pneumothorax, and that is actually where the lung has a tear in it and deflates. So the correction for that is to go in and put a chest tube in. And if you've never had a chest tube, you do not want one. They do not put you to sleep. They put this very large tube into your lungs to inflate your lung back. So that's part of what's going on. And then not only that, you might not have an effect as of right now. You might not see anything. You might not see anything 5 years from now. But you might end up with what's called COPD, and it affects the lungs. It also, a lot of times people have to go on oxygen. They have to take meds for it. There is a inhaler called Trilogy that's real good for COPD, and it's called obstructive pulmonary disease. And you could have that later on in life. It doesn't mean that it's going to affect you right now.
But you're shortening your life, or
the
health of your life.
Yes, and you are shortening your life. A lot of people, like Ms. Petetan said, they don't feel like it's that big of a deal. You know, smoking is more hurtful to your system and your body, but what they don't realize is what they're actually inhaling. They have to have an oil that is in that little capsule that they put into that vaping pen. That oil is not meant to be into your skin or into your body. It is something that they do so that it makes it a liquid, and when it heats up, it makes it more liquefied. But if you think about the stuff that they put in those, formaldehyde is something they use to embalm you with. That
After
is
you're deceased.
Exactly. That is in this. Benzene's another one. Well, benzene is what your car produces in the exhaust. There's a lot of things that they put in this, even the stuff that makes it taste good is harmful. It contains metals. Like lead, tin. I mean, I don't think they realize what they're doing to their system. And it's just something that happens a long time. If it doesn't happen now, then it could happen later. So vaping is very, very
harmful for your health.
Very harmful.
And if it's not harmful now, if you don't see the effects now, you never know what it's going to do later on in life. That, reduces your quality of life.
It does.
You said some of those things are treatable. Same thing with Ms. Petetan. So if you continue to do that, you're just basically reducing your mental stability.
Exactly.
And so there are medicines that can reverse this, but then that medicine has a side effect. You have to take another medicine. And so medicines, prescriptions are not cheap.
No.
So then that's also taken away from your income, taken away from your household, taken away from your maybe freedom in life and flexibility.
Quality
if you
of
have
life.
Quality of life, if you have to walk around with an oxygen machine, there's certain places you won't be able to go, or it's just a burden for you to go having to carry around an oxygen machine.
It's very scary when you cannot breathe. And that's exactly what this does. THC has bad chemicals in that. And so that affects your brain. So it just doesn't affect your lungs. It affects your brain,
entire body.
It affects your heart.
And if those things are not functioning correctly, that can affect your mobility. It's just so many different things, Crusader. So we hope that you're really paying attention. And if you're not concerned about your mental capacity, if you're not concerned about your health, then hopefully the consequences will be something that'll change this behavior and help you put those vapes down. So what we have installed, the district has purchased vape sensors. So each and every one of our restroom stalls has a vape sensor, and those vape sensors are very sensitive. No matter where you are in the restroom, if you're trying to hide in the corner, it will be able to detect any type of vaping sensation. So once it's detected, we will get an alert, and once that vaping has dissipated, then it'll go off. And when you step out of the restroom, there's a camera pointing right there at the restroom. So when you're coming out of the restroom, even if you left that vape in the garbage can or disposed of it, you will still receive a consequence, which is pathways, meaning that you're going to be removed from your home campus and placed at a disciplinary alternative placement pathways. And you will have to wear a uniform. I mean, there's so many other things that you have to do that you won't have the freedoms of your regular campus. So we encourage you to put the vapes down so that, one, it will not affect your mental capacity. Two, it will not affect your overall health now or later on in life. And three, so that you will not have to suffer the consequences. You'll also lose your extracurricular privileges. You won't be able to participate in those extracurricular activities. And for seniors, that includes graduation. So it's just not worth it. It's not worth it for the things that you'll miss out on as a high school student. It's not worth it for your mental health. It's not worth it for your physical health and your quality of life. So we hope that you've taken notes, that you've actually taken all of this in, and will determine some other ways, some other strategies that Ms. Petetan mentioned for you to make some other changes. We understand that you go through a lot of things in life. As you all say, life is lifing. However, there are better ways for you to cope with those challenges, those different situations, besides doing something that's going to be harmful to your body. So ladies, again, we really appreciate you all coming in and talking to our Crusaders about these things. We hope that they listen to everything that you said and make some changes to put those vapes down. And I also share with you all some information. It's a text that you can text. Let's see, let me find my notes. You can text vape free TX, that's VAPEFREETX to 88709. If you enroll in that, then they'll provide you with some other strategies to help you as you're trying to quit this addiction of vaping.
And Dr. Threets also had a couple as well to help with the support system. YesQuit.org.
Okay.
That's another one. And then the Texas Quit line, which is 1-877-YES-QUIT.
Okay, thank you so much, and we'll get that information for you all. We'll email that to you all as well, post it on our social media, because we definitely want the best for you, Crusaders. You know our theme is engaging and an expectation of excellence in all you do. Vaping is not excellent at all. No matter when you do it, how you do it, it's not excellent. It is not helping you to reach your full potential. So we want to provide you with the tools and resources to help you to quit vaping and stop that addiction, and committing to doing so. And for our last word, we have some exciting news to share. Along with Beaumont United, we have 5 BU players that are here that are Crusaders. So we just want to wish the entire team good luck as they head to state for the fourth consecutive appearance to state. So we just want to wish our Crusader players, Kay, Daniel, David, Daryl, and Omar, good luck. We're so proud of you, Crusaders / Timberwolves. We're going to claim Crusaders first. We know you're Timberwolf first, but you're a Crusader while you're here. So we are so proud of you. We wish you all luck, and just do your best while you're there. You have accomplished so much just by getting there 4 consecutive years. Your entire high school career, that's not something that everybody can say. So you'll definitely have those bragging rights for your entire life. So we just look forward to celebrating the victory with you all when you all return. And for our next Crusader Convo, we will have our health science department here, our teachers and our HOSA students here to learn what they've been doing this year in HOSA and some of the things they have coming up the rest of this year. So again, we thank you for engaging in Crusader Convo in this crucial career conversation about vaping. Thank you so much for joining us.